Hi guys, my name is Christine and I'm a dating, relationship and personal development coach. And today I'm talking about do this and she will think about you non-stop. So this is a dating advice video for all you men out there who are wanting to be the only thing on her mind and how you can make her think about you all the time and make her wonder about you. So in order to make a woman think about you and wonder about you and to be curious about what you're doing is when you first start dating a woman, you've got to be a bit mysterious to begin with. Now, I'm not saying that you need to be mysterious throughout your whole relationship, even though it is good to sometimes be a little bit more mysterious, so you don't fall into complacency when you do get into a relationship. But at the beginning, women need more mystery and romance, right? And there's something about mystery and intrigue that is just so romantic to women, okay? Women don't typically need love straight out of the gate when it comes to dating. What they need more in the beginning is this sort of like mysterious energy from you and for you to be more laid back and to actually not be like head over heels in love with her straight away. She wants to sort of figure it out and almost like earn your love. Because if you think about it as human beings, we appreciate things more if we've earned it rather than if it's just given to us straight out of the gate. And the same thing works and applies with women. When they first start dating a guy, they don't want a guy who is instantly 100% in love with them, ready to get married. They don't want things at a drop of a hat like that. What they want is to earn your love. They don't want it to be given to them straight away. Okay? Now, a lot of you might be thinking, well, then I'm not showing my intent. I'm playing games if I'm doing that. But if you think about it, there's no need to be 100% in love with a woman straight out of the gate. First of all, you don't know her yet properly. Yes, she may look beautiful. You may know a couple of things about her, but you don't know who she is. You don't know what it's like to live with her, right? So let's say, oh yeah, you're head over heels in love with a woman you've just met, but you don't know what it's like you haven't seen her handle money. You don't know how she handles stresses in her life. You don't know how she handles things when she's under pressure. You don't know how she's going to act and behave when there's a disaster going on. You don't know who she is, and these things are really important, and it will affect your relationship later on down the road. So when you do actually start getting to know her more, and let's say something comes up, let's say her parents, one of her parents gets ill, and then she just goes completely insane because of that and doesn't know how to sort of keep her composure while she's going through something tough. That's going to put a load of stress on you and you're going to be the one that's having to try and fix things. Now, of course, when your partner is going through something tough, it's okay for them to like be upset about it and to be worried and to have concerns. But people who have their heads screwed on right still feel those emotions, but they don't make your life, other people's life, hell in the process. It's like something that Jordan Peterson said, is that he said that when someone is dying, the worst thing that people could be doing is making the situation worse by bickering, at that person's bedside as they're dying, right? What he says is that when your family and things are going on and a disaster hits, you want to strive to be the one that is calming everything down and making everything more serene and peaceful. And that's what people who have their heads screwed on right do. So if you meet a woman, right, she may be perfect and maybe 10 out of 10 in looks, 10 out of 10 in other things that she may be doing. But when you start being with that person a lot, she may start displaying behaviors that you do not love, right? So when you start meeting a woman, you've got to remember that. You've got to remember, I've got to hold off a little bit. I've got to lean back a little bit because I don't know who she is. She could drain my bank account dry because she doesn't know how to handle money. She could be in debt for all I know, right? And she's terrible with money, or she's terrible with her relationships, like with her friends, and she's always in drama. You got to be thinking about these things. You don't know her. Okay, so don't be sitting there all stuffy like, yeah, well, if I'm being mysterious, it means I'm playing games. If I'm not showing her that I love her, it means I'm playing games. No, it doesn't. It just means that you're sensible and you're not giving your heart to someone you don't know yet, right? That's why you date them, right? That's why you date a woman, okay? you are finding out who she is. And you may have to be in a relationship with her for a few months to figure out completely who she is. Because like what Corey Wayne says, people can hide who they are in the first 90 days of a relationship. So until that time has gone by, you don't know exactly who you have on your hands, right? So you've got to let her earn your love. And that's why you be more mysterious. And that's why you don't offer your love at the drop of a hat straight away out of the gate. Okay, you give the relationship time and you stay skeptical until you know exactly who she is. Then once you figure out who she is, then you can lean back a little bit and relax and not worry so much and about that kind of stuff, and allow yourself to like show her more affection, and show her love, and vomit all over your your feelings all over her and stuff. And besides, women prefer that more when you're in a relationship. Yeah, they prefer love letters, good morning texts, those kinds of things when you're in a relationship, not when you're just dating them, right? Because they know they don't deserve it. They know that you don't know them yet, okay? So you got to be mysterious. So how can you be mysterious? So you don't want to be in her DMs all the time. That's a huge one, right? You don't want to be constantly in contact with her throughout your day, right? Do what Corey Wayne says. I know I always refer to Corey Wayne, but he's a great mentor of mine. But what you want to be doing is you want to be using texting and calls for arranging dates and arranging get-togethers in person rather than getting to know each other. Now, obviously, it's okay to send a few messages back and forth. I did that when I met my wife. So, for example, what happened with me is we matched on Tinder. We sent a few messages back and forth, and then I asked for her Facebook information, which she gave me. I added her on Facebook. She accepted right away. And what happened then is I checked through her profile to make sure she was actually a real person and she wasn't a catfish, because, you got to be, careful with that kind of thing. People can present themselves online or on dating apps. And then when you meet out in person, they can be someone completely different. So you've got to be careful with that kind of thing. And then I sent her a message on Facebook. We had another small chat. And then I said, well, you seem really great. When are you free to hang out? I'd really like to get to know you better. And then we made a date for that Saturday. And that's pretty much how it went. And that all happened in the space of an evening. And I don't think I sent her any more than about, it was under 10 messages, right? It must have been something around that ballpark. Probably between 6 and 10, okay? And that included Tinder and that included Facebook, okay? And I just got on with it, okay? So that's one of the ways that you can be more mysterious, okay? And when we started to date, like, I didn't message her. After we'd set up the date for that Saturday, I didn't message her throughout the week, okay? And then after that first initial date, I didn't message her again until 5 days afterwards, okay? To ask her out again. And then we went out on another date, and that's when she started to reach out to me more, and that's how I knew she wanted to be with me more and see me more. And so we started to see each other more and more and more as the weeks went on. It first started out by us seeing each other once a week, then it started to go to us spending the weekends together, and then it started to be we would see each other on the weekends, and then would see each other in the evening during the week as well. And that carried on for a good few months, and then we did the the big thing of moving in together, yeah. But it was a process, it took time. But it all started initially with me holding back. Now, the reason why she was attracted to me because of me holding back and not being in her DMs all the time was because she had previously had women that she dated who were always in her DMs. So she went on one date with a woman who sent her 2 bunches of flowers after the first date and a message saying, I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you. Okay, and it turned her off because that was just too much, too soon. She knew she didn't deserve that kind of attention that fast after just one single date. Okay, it turns women right off. That kind of behavior turned my wife off. And even though you may be feeling those emotions after a first date, it's important that you hold back, okay? And this will make her wonder about you and curious about you, especially if she's really, really beautiful, because if she's been on lots of dates with guys and she probably gets lots of numbers from guys, you're the one that's standing out because you're not the one that's falling at her feet and treating her like a princess and putting her on a pedestal. You're the one that's actually treating her like a normal, regular human being. You're messaging her when it's convenient for you, and you're just using the phone for setting up dates, and you're telling her that I'd much prefer to see you in person than to just chit chat online 24/7, right? And that shows mystery, okay? So when you're out on a date, then what's important is there's a few keys that will make you more mysterious and make her wonder about you after the date, okay? So one of the first things I want to discuss is how to talk when you're on a date with a woman. So when you first start dating a woman, obviously you're asking lots of questions about yourself. Now, the worst thing that you could do is to appear boring, okay? But I don't want you to be talking constantly about yourself. You shouldn't be doing that either. So what you do is when she asks you a question about yourself, you answer it, but you give a little bit of flavor and a little bit of depth. Because what most people will do is something like this. So this is an example I use all the time. So let's say you're asking her about her favorite TV show. Yeah, and she's telling you all about it, and she's maybe chatting for a good like 10-15 minutes about her favorite TV show. And then she asks the question back at you, and she's like, oh, so what's your favorite TV show? Now, guys that don't know any better will just say something like, oh, yeah, I really like Game of Thrones. Oh, so what's your favorite music? That shows no depth at all, okay? And it's a really boring answer, and it's not going to make her, think about you. So a better way to answer that question is to say something authentically that you like about the program. But you can still maintain mystery by just keeping it short and sweet, but it shows that you have depth and culture and flavor, and it just makes you appear more interesting and have a bit more intrigue about you. So the way that I would personally answer it is that, oh yeah, my favorite show is Game of Thrones. And the thing that I really like about it is that it's all about this family that get separated from each other, and basically throughout the whole series they're just trying to get back to being a family again, and I know there's more to it than that, but that's something that was interesting to me because I have a good bond with one of my siblings, my brother, and I feel for the characters because I know what it's like to have siblings that you really care about, okay, and you can sort of like put yourself in that position. So that's what you can say, but as you can see, it's not too long. You're not chatting for ages about it. It's short, it's sweet, it's to the point, and it gives you that little bit of flavor and depth, right? The same goes for like when you're talking about like music. So you may ask her what her favorite band is or what kind of music she likes, and then she'll go in and tell you about that. And then if she's interested in you and she wants to know about you, she will ask you what you like, what kind of music you like, and you say, oh yeah, you know what, I really like Blink-182. It just reminds me so much of going on holidays with my brother, because we would always like listen to Blink-182 when we were traveling, and it really just takes me back there whenever I listen to their music. That, again, it's short, it's sweet, it's mysterious because you're not blithering on for ages about it, and it's showing depth and intrigue, and there's something interesting about you, but you're also not just talking about yourself constantly. Because one of the things that guys do, just some guys, not all guys, but a lot of guys, what they do is they just sit there and talk about themselves all evening, and she's just sort of there sitting there like nodding her head and just slowly getting bored because he's not asking her any questions because he's too busy just sort of like pumping up his own ego and talking about things that he finds interesting, and he's not being a very good conversationalist. But if you want a woman to like you more, then one of the best things that you can do is ask her good quality questions that she likes to answer, right? So when you're talking to her and then you get onto a topic and she like really lights up and starts talking and like gets really excited, that's when you know that you should be talking more about that thing. Okay, so let's say she's talking about the car that she drives. Get her to answer more questions about the car because obviously she's really excited about that topic. So get her to open up and talk more about it because she feels really positively about it, okay? Another thing that you can use when you're on dates as well is it's really important that you're humorous and you're having a good time and you're having fun, okay? You don't want to be too serious on a date, okay, because it's going to make her feel uncomfortable. What you want it to do is to feel comfortable. And one of the best ways you can make a woman feel more comfortable is by putting humor into it, laughter, doing fun things on the date. Perhaps you go somewhere and have a sit down and then you're sort of people watching, right? And maybe you're taking the piss a little bit of other people to their expense, but obviously you're keeping your voices down, so you're not actually really hurting anyone. You're just trying to make her laugh, It could be something along those lines. Just picking things out of your environment that you can have a laugh at. And you can do fun things like by, perhaps you go window shopping or something. So for example, for me, like a date that I had early on with my wife is that we was just like in around a town, and we would, I would be doing something intimate, like if we went into like a candle shop or a shop where there was candles, I'd like open up the candle and take the lid off and get her to sniff it, and we'd both smell it and things like that, and just doing things that are sort of fun and interesting. Yeah. And it's another great date might be going out to IKEA and just like looking, oh, let's go, come on honey, let's go and pick out our furniture, and just like messing around in IKEA and doing things like that. So it's all about just trying to come up with things that you can do that are really fun and interesting, that can cause humor and laughter. Okay. And if you do that, then she's going to be thinking about you nonstop, because a lot of guys that she may go out on dates with might be trying too hard to focus, trying to focus too much on getting her into bed, or getting her to, trying to lock her down to a relationship, or he's just standing there and he's just talking about himself because he's really egotistical. But if you're doing these other things that I've listed in this video, she's going to be thinking about you more, because when she's with you, she feels positive emotion because you're having a fun time, you're interesting, you've got interesting things to say, even though you keep it nice and short and sweet. You're doing fun things, you're making her laugh, you're flirting and bantering with her in a playful way, not in an explicit way. You're just being playful. What you got to imagine is that you two are just like little kids having fun, and just being kind of like a little bit naughty and cheeky, with other people, and in the environment that you're in. That's the kind of energy that you want to bring to a date. And also, when you're not on a date, you're not always available on the phone. You're not always available to chit chat 24/7. You're showing mystery when she's away from you, which gives her time to think about you. You can't be mysterious to a woman. She won't think about you non-stop if you're always in her DMs. She can't think about you, she can't wonder about you if you're always there, right? So that's why when you're together, she can feel your love and the adoration that you have for her, because you're giving her attention, you're giving her your presence, you're making her laugh, you're having fun experiences, and it makes her feel like, oh, he's really great to be around. He does care about me. I was so, when he wasn't messaging me back, I was a bit worried, but obviously he really does care. Maybe he's just not someone who texts 24/7, and that's fine. But it's making her, it's always like a bit of a push and also a bit of a pull sort of thing that's going on. But this is something you only really need to do at the beginning. Obviously, you should always keep up with having fun, humorous dates with your partner, as the relationship progresses, obviously. But you don't have to, you can relax more on the texting when you get into a relationship, and not, and you're waiting for a while. Now, obviously, when I say that you should not be available to chit chat all the time and texting all the time, what I don't mean is that you should ignore her messages when she messages you. Always respond to her messages. So if she texts you saying, hey, how are you? Then of course you can respond, but you just want to keep the conversation a bit short, and just refer back to a date that maybe you've got lined up, saying, oh, I can't wait to see you on Sunday, and just sort of do things like that. Okay, so that's how you can get a woman to think about you non-stop when you're dating her. Thank you so much for watching, and if you'd like to get more tips like this, then go and check out the book, Attracting the Beautiful Woman of Your Dreams. You can go and read it for free straight away on my website, or you can buy a physical copy or the Kindle version on Amazon. There's a link to it on the website where the book actually is, the PDF reader on there. And if you'd like to get in touch with me personally and you'd like coaching with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye.